Hi everyone. So people have been asking for this guide for quite a while actually, probably a few days after Fire Emblem Warriors came out. And this video that you're going to see is me trying to do my best to kind of show you how to do the Soul Katti quest. Now for those of you guys that don't know, it's a timed attack map, meaning that you need to get X amounts of kills within a set amount of time. The thing is, though, is that you have to use it primarily as archers, and the thing about archers is that they don't necessarily have the highest 1v1 damage output. Usually, well, the part of the reason why I was sort of hesitating to make this video was because I know that I have quite a bit of level difference in comparison to the vast majority of players, simply because all my characters are maxed out because of these videos that I've been making. But I decided that in order to sort of kind of create or make up for the difference in levels is that I'm going to be using a very low leveled equipment. As well, I will be having no skills, and I will be using Anna, who I've expressed to have like the lowest stats out of the three archer characters. So the main thing to understand about this run is that if you want to get the S rank, and to get the S rank means that you'll get Soul Katti's Scroll, which is Lynn's best weapon, and yeah, that's a big deal. It's a really big reward to get that. The thing is, like, the main thing you want to look out for, I guess, is that you'll see I'll be having low damage and then no skills except for Astra. And even then, when I first did this thing, I didn't even have Astra. But the main thing to look out for, though, is that you're going to want to take out Garnef in the way that I did, because you're going to do very little damage no matter what weapon you're going to have. I'm going to make the assumption that most of you guys will have brave weapons in the time that, in the time that you've actually reached this part of the map and that you're going to be aiming to get this challenge done. So, the thing is, yeah, you have to fully charge your meter. Thankfully with Garnef, he's a little bit slow. He doesn't actually close the gap with his attacks. You're not going to be doing this tactic very often. It is going to be your best bet. Like, I guess if you have a higher damage weapon and you have quite a bit of skills in any of your characters, whether it's Anna, Takumi, or Sakura, you're going to just be aiming to get the yellow stun gauge and then finishing off with a warrior gauge. Now, this is a 96 attack power silver bow, so it's by no means the strongest. It's 2 stars, so I'm going to make assumption that you guys have weapons that are about in the triple digits at this point in your progression. Otherwise, I don't recommend making the attempt until you've unlocked brave bows. Or, well, then I'm guessing that the majority of people that will be doing that won't have Takumi or Sakura's weapons unlocked either, so that's something you need to consider as you're going about this. Now, the general rule of thumb when you're doing this thing is time is of the essence. Like, even for me, like, I've done this a couple of times before recording it, and I still cut it pretty close. But that's kind of the thing, though. The main thing you want to do is just very rarely ever use Warrior Gauge Special, because this is kind of where the game gets a little bit unfair. They don't spawn enemies fast enough for you to actually gain your kill counts. You need to get 1,000 in, within 7 minutes, which is really tough to do, and it's actually tricky for the majority of the roster, let alone archer units. So generally what you want to be doing is, like, whenever you see enemies, keep kind of dodging towards the left, because especially with the Maniket creatures that you'll see, they have that long-range breath attack that hits like almost all the way across the fortress type areas. So it gets a little unfair, but you have to make sure that you can be in a good position where you can easily dodge, because getting hit will also consume a lot of time. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that most of you guys will have invested in Armored Blow, since Tiki is a very easy character to farm with. So, like, again, I didn't have Armored Blow for this one. It's not a requirement by any means, but it certainly does make life easier. Same thing goes for Astra. You don't need Astra, and like, I didn't even have Astra when I first did this myself, but it certainly makes your life a lot less stressful just because you're getting more attacks out. Now, in terms of actual requirements, though, like, again, I just don't try not to get hit as best as you can. Try to you're not actually aiming to kill captains. Like, that's kind of the thing. Like, you know how earlier I complained that the game doesn't spawn enough enemies? part of the reason why the game doesn't spawn enough enemies is because you actually have to kill captains to get enemies to spawn, and the thing is though, even with a semi-decent output, it's still really tricky to get it down until you get like super endgame equipment, but we want to get Lin's weapon as soon as possible. Like, that's just a really nice thing to do. So most of the time you will be spamming your combo 5, that is 4 regular attacks followed by a strong attack, where she summons the little cloud that shoots a bunch of arrows. This is going to be the attack you will be using all the time. Like, all the time. Don't use combo 6, it's a waste of time. It doesn't spread to extra enemies. You're just going to be focusing like your target on one captain enemy and then just be like spinning around them as you take out the small enemies, and just like always keeping an eye on your density. Only ever use warrior gauge as a panic button. Even then, just be very careful about that, because again, warrior gauge, it doesn't have enough KOs and it's quite slow. And again, like I actually am going to cut it really close. I think we were like just under 7 minutes when we did this. Now, in terms of like skills and stats, I'm trying to think right now. Like I guess trample would be a good suggestion, since most of these people will be armed units. If you can get like, I actually don't know if Draco Slayer is a good idea, because I think that still gives a penalty, or even further penalty, because you have Wing Slayer already. Let's see. Oh yeah, Awakening, like, you could get Awakening Gauge, it's just that with the weapon that I was using right now, I didn't want to bother, because, like, even the Transporter Captains alone had quite a bit of defenses built into them. Like, that's basically the aim of the game. You're actually meant to sort of just survive the onslaught of these captains with all the morale coming up. And you see over here, I actually get a little bit stressed out, because I was realizing that we actually didn't have that much time. We had like less than a minute to go, and I was getting hit a bunch of times. So that's kind of the name of the game. Having Armored Blow certainly does help. Same thing goes for Astra. You know, I didn't give myself any skills for this one, just to sort of make up the difference for levels. But yeah, like, I'm going to make the assumption most of you guys already have the Brave weapons. It's really tricky, and to be honest, I can't say I like it very much. It really does feel challenging to the point where it feels unfair. And the best thing you can say though is that as soon as you beat it, you have basically unlocked the best weapon of the best character in the game. So guys, good luck for doing this. It is probably the biggest challenge of the entire game, in my opinion, but that's the thing though, you need just to have a little bit of luck, invest in whatever skills. Like, it's not really levels that matter, it's all about the equipment, and it's all about the skills that you have. Those are going to be the things that will make a difference. And after that, just spam the combo 5 all day long. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little guide video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.